Saturday, you know, we do something different. And we've never done something like this before, you know.
Okay.
No, because, you know, I'm always joking around and crazy and stuff like this. But it really, you know, you have inspired me so much that when we talked a bit, I was like, look, I really do want to have you on. I wanted to ask you, but then when you talked to me and said it's something you want to do, that was like absolutely amazing for me. But nevertheless, guys, you've seen it on my Facebook page. I have my girl Giovanna Watson in the studio with me. How you doing, Giovanna?
I am doing so much better.
Yeah, you
So
look
much better.
awesome.
Thanks, lady.
You look awesome, girl. But I got to tell you, you've been really inspirational for me. And I'm going to just share with the audience that you actually were diagnosed with colon cancer.
Yes.
And you are actually like the youngest colon cancer person diagnosed in Bermuda.
Yes.
With it.
Yes.
Now, look, girl, I gotta find out from you because I've seen your Facebook posts and the stuff that you've been doing, and I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness, this girl is absolutely amazing.
Aww.
Yeah. So first of all, what was it like for you when you first found out?
I would say the backstory is I went into surgery for one thing.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day, actually.
Yeah.
So that was a Friday. And that next Thursday, that's when I was diagnosed. So
Wow.
6 days later. So I was in shock. I
Yeah.
didn't go into work that Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
And my first thought was I needed to tell my immediate family and friends, only because I had like great aunts who had passed away from it
Right.
in my family.
Got you.
And then my next concern was like telling everybody else. But I wasn't worried about I wasn't trying to keep it to myself. I just wanted to the people who are important
Right.
know first, so they didn't hurt. Because you know, once word gets around, it's like, oh, she's got 2 weeks to live, you know, and I didn't want all that.
You know, it's so funny. I mean, it's almost like when you see like a post about an accident in the paper, like, I mean, not in the paper, on you hear about an accident, and then next thing you know, Facebook ignites.
Right.
It's like, oh my goodness, the car hit the pole and it flipped over, and really it was just a slight accident where they hit a dog, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh wow, and everybody just starts tagging everybody in, and that's how it is in Bermuda. So I definitely can understand, you know, you wanted to let those people that mean the most to you know first.
Yes.
You know.
And I did spend time with people, with, you know, friends, associates, during the time I got diagnosed, and but I wanted to make sure I told everyone I knew first.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You know, I had those moments where I'm around people and I'm just enjoying the moment, like, you know, I'm not being worried about me or concerned, and just enjoyed the moment. And then the next thing I decided to do, because I throw salsa socials, like that's my thing.
Miss Social Butterfly. So, you know, because I know you like the little salsa.
I love me
scene
some
and all that.
salsa.
Yeah.
And it just happened that I had booked a social the Sunday before I was supposed to go away, but the social had been booked months in advance. And I was like, you know what? Let me let everyone know that way. So I'm bumping into people, I'm saying, you know, I'm going to have an announcement party, and they're looking at me like crazy, like, what she has to announce kind of thing. Exactly.
Pregnant, you know,
you're having twins, see, everyone was running with it, but I was like, no, it's pretty serious. So if you can make it, it would be great. If you can't, you know, I understand.
You understand, right.
But when that thing got announced and people read my post, they was like, wow.
But okay, so you invited them to the event.
Yes.
And at the event, you just...
Yeah, I just had a little speech written up, you know, just so I can stick to the points of it or whatever. And I said, first, I wanted you to find out this way from me, then from somebody else. You know, I didn't want this secondhand information kind of thing. And
what was the reaction? I mean, you know, how did you feel doing it, first of all?
Oh, I was nervous. I was worried about how people were going to take it more than anything, because I don't like stressing people out or anything like that, and I don't want them to think the worst. I just wanted them to know, like, I'm doing this. This is what the plan is. But at the end of the day, as long as I have a plan and I know what the doctors need of me or what want from me, I'm going to stick to that plan and do what I need to do to get it done. Because, you know, you have some people who no matter how you try to help them, the woe is me, and people don't want to support people like that anymore because it gets draining for them.
Right.
Like, you know, they're giving the all and they're trying to be supportive, and people's like, no, I'm okay. And I was like, I don't want to be that type of person.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? You know, I'm going to be honest about when I have my bad days, because I do it. You know, I have one post where I'm bawling my eyes out. I couldn't tell you why I was crying. that's how I was feeling, and I just posted, because you have to be honest about what you're feeling. It's like, but the important thing is not to stay in that place.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the things with you. I didn't know anything.
Right.
I mean, I absolutely didn't know anything. And then one day I just happened to be rolling through Facebook, and I'm like, hey, Jim. And I'm like, huh? And then I start scrolling through, and I see pictures of you in a hospital, and the Freaky Friday. What is it called?
Freaky Friday pictures.
Freaky Friday pictures. And I'm like, okay, what is going on?
Right.
So at first,
Freaky Friday pictures were to celebrate each week of treatment. So we always took the pictures with my radiation team on a Friday.
Yeah.
So we would just think of something crazy to do, post it. And the other way was to kind of educate people about what the space is like, because I'm never seen a radiation machine before.
Let me tell you something. I had never really seen that before. So when you were showing pictures and stuff, I mean, you know how you think of something that's going to be just like, oh my gosh, this is like the scariest thing ever.
Right.
You actually made it not look as scary.
Right.
I know it is scary, but you kind of like brought it to reality for me. And other people, because I've heard other people, they're like, wow, like, I didn't know that's what it was. And I'm sure many of them probably contact you like, wow, Giovanna, like, this is what the reality of it is.
Yeah, because it's all brand new to me. And I was like, well, let's all learn together, kind of thing. Let's educate each other, because your imagination is always bigger than what reality is.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is the lasers, this is what the monitors look like. Of course, it might be different in different facilities, but at the end of the day, this is the general concept.
So you do the coming out party, and I mean, I guess people were like, wow, like they didn't probably know what to say at first. And this is what I want to ask you about, because, I mean, it's almost like I'm trying to think of the words for it, but it's like sometimes people don't know what to say.
Yes,
and I think kind of just like you're like, I'll pray. I'm sorry.
Yes, I tell people in the announcement party, I say, I don't need to hear you're sorry for me, and I don't need to hear other people who have died from it.
Yeah.
Because you will be amazed how many people who's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear. Yeah, my auntie just passed from it.
And you're looking at them like, thanks.
I know, and I honestly know they didn't mean anything by it, but it's amazing that people think that's the first thing that comes to their mind to say, and
when I'm looking at it now, I'm like, okay, have I ever said that to someone? You know what I mean? No, seriously. Because, sometimes we don't think on that level. We're just thinking, oh, I can relate because I have a family member. You know what I mean?
Yes. If someone said, I had an auntie who has been through it. Yeah. I don't necessarily understand exactly what you're going through, but I know the journey you have ahead, and if you just stay positive, and if you want to get together afterwards and let's celebrate, that's the kind of stuff you want to be telling people. Like, have them something to look forward to. Like, some people prefer to be face to face. Some people like to give the service, like just being there to pick you up if you need anything. Some people like to send jokes, just to uplift you on a bad day. And, some people just want to call and talk like it's a normal day. And, all this, the one thing I want to say to supporters is no matter how you choose to show your support, don't think there's no wrong way to do it. It's personal to you and that person.
And it's about being there for somebody, being there for someone that actually wants your friendship and needs your friendship at that time. Yeah. But the other thing is, I mean, you announced it to your friends and family, so that was done. Yeah. And they accepted it, and most of them were very private about it. They weren't, running around telling everybody, because there were people that really cared.
And this is where you teach people how to treat you. Because I said, look, I'm okay when I'm down. I just need your energy to be up. Like, I might be quiet, I might be sick, but I still want that kind of lively energy around me. And what made me realize what also helped me not to keep it to myself was that my cousin, he asked me if I had told a particular couple who had been through it as well. And I said no. And he said, you know what, they would be who I would talk to for support. Right. And, he was like, I'll wait for you to tell them. And that moment made me realize that my supporters need support too. Yep. And it's unfair to have me ask them to keep such a burden, like such a secret. Like, I don't want people censoring the conversations. And I did the same thing at work. when I first got diagnosed, I was in and out of my boss's office, the president's office, HR, and people was like, is she leaving? Like, what's going on? They were freaking out. And I just had a meeting with everybody and said, look, this is what I'm dealing with, and I'm going to be out of office, for a few months coming forward. And, and once people understand what's going on, they adjust and behave accordingly. And you give them a chance to be involved in the battle and not feeling like they're standing on the outside helpless. Because when you tell people what you need from them, people who I wouldn't have expected have stepped up. And it's been so freaking amazing, and I am so blessed. And for people who are just sending messages just to say, oh, hi, I'm checking up. I can't tell you the amount of times when I was starting to feel down and I will get a message and then it would just snap me out of it, because I have to respond, and I have to break out of that cycle. And that's the important thing. Like, you be honest about what you're feeling, but at the same time, don't stay in that place.
And on top of that, and I tell people this all the time, you have to be allowed to go through that process.
Exactly. Because people can be pretty dismissive if not intentionally, but you have nothing to worry about.
Girl, relax.
Exactly.
It's okay. God's got this. Okay, yes, it's not that you don't have faith in that, but you have to go through that period.
Yes,
because
you have to adjust.
It's happening to you.
Exactly. You have to adjust. And, I told, when I went to the oncology department at first, I didn't retain any information, because you were setting up appointments to go away. The hospitals need reference letters, insurance, blah blah blah. So I sat there, and my auntie and my girlfriend, they took all the notes from me because I wasn't retaining information. But when I had to meet with my surgeon about when the surgery date was going to be and stuff like that, I freaked out the weekend before.
Wow.
I told everyone, this is what I'm going through, and he was like, oh, you have nothing to worry about. No, I have the surgery.
Yep.
But I'm thinking way past the surgery, because they're taking something out of my body, and I don't know how big or small this adjustment's going to be, but that's what I'm going to have to live with and adjust to after the surgery. So it's not just about the surgery. Yeah, it went as planned. That's fine. But what are the implications of the surgery after that?
And what happens after that?
Exactly.
And I mean, people don't think about that. They just think, oh, well, it's getting removed. You'll be all right.
Right. But you still have to adjust.
To be past that.
Yes.
What about the healing process?
Exactly.
What about other treatments that I have to take that are ongoing until a certain point?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm not comforted by the fact that someone's going to be cutting me open and removing something. Like, that's never going to comfort me. Hey.
I mean, it's almost like getting needles. And that's the part.
Don't even talk about needles.
When you were posting this stuff about the needle, and I was like, she's really posting this, and you were like, I am tired of being prodded and pricked and prodded and pricked. I don't want to see another needle. And I said, you know what? But look at that. You know what I mean? People can relate to that. You're taking them on that journey, because sometimes they may have a family member going through that, and they may not have a sensitivity level to be able to deal with it. So you being open and honest on Facebook, as you know, my mom's a cancer survivor. My brother, my granny is going through the process now. So when I actually went on your page, just being pokey, know, and I saw you going through that process. I was initially away with my grandmother, watching her go through a process.
Right.
So reading what you were writing, it was kind of like, okay, this is probably what she's feeling right now. Let me switch up what I'm saying her, or let me see if I can be more supportive in another way.
Got you.
So that's why I tell you, you never know who you're supposed to reach. And you're doing this, and it's therapy for you as well.
Yes, it is.
But I'm telling you, this is something that people really do not discuss, and that people really do not get to follow a journey about.
Yes, and because, and people are still, because they have elders in their families who have passed away from it, they automatically think death. Because back in the day, people, maybe they didn't have the insurance, but it seemed like a death sentence. But now technology has changed. They can zero in my tumor like by the millimeter, and things are different. Everyone has different stages.
Yes.
But I didn't want people to look at me and see death. And let's say, for example, that the doctors told me I had 6 months to live, but I didn't tell anybody else. I thought to myself, what would I want my legacy to be?
Yes.
You know, this is not going to define, it's something I'm going through, but it's not going to define me, and for those people who are going through it and who have a rough time, maybe they don't have the support, the finances, family, or anything like that. The way I see it, everyone has a 9-to-5 job.
That's right.
Pretty much. And people don't want to go work sometimes. Like, I don't want to go in today. I'm going to call in sick. Me taking care of me is my job. So that just like the people who work 9-to-5, they get to enjoy the weekends and the evenings. That's what I'm working towards too, as well. This is my job to take care of myself. And, you know, I have had people support me if I need to go anywhere, have supplies. But at the end of the day, it's still my responsibility.
Yes.
You know, and I have every right to enjoy life just as much as anyone else.
And life doesn't stop because of this. And that's the thing. We have to realize that the C world does not stop us.
Exactly.
We keep moving forward.
Exactly.
And one thing that I would say is you are definitely somebody that moves forward. I actually went to visit you at the hospital.
Yeah, it's kind of blast.
And
I got kidnapped, everybody.
No, listen, I went to visit this chick at the hospital, and I'm thinking, okay, let me go see Giovanna and check on her, you know, after surgery. So I went in there, and she was like, I want to go outside. And I'm sitting there like, and you're gone? She's like, yeah, I want to go outside. I was like, okay. So her friend Nikki was there, and I can't remember the gentleman's name because he's not a Somerset fan, so I don't want to mention him. Ooh. I'm only joking. But anyway, so the guy was like,
St. George's.
Watch your mouth, lady. But nevertheless, you were like, okay, let's go outside. So I'm thinking, okay, we're just going to go outside and sit out the front and watch the cars.
Yeah,
No, she was going up the hill. All right, going towards what was it, Botanical Gardens?
Botanical Gardens, yeah.
And this thing was walking up this hill. And remember, she's had surgery now, so we were like, "Do we need to take this wheelchair with us just to be on the safe side?" So we took the wheelchair.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Oh, I don't need the wheelchair. I'm fine. And I'm like, but it's like 90 degrees outside. Next thing I know, this thing is laying on the ground at Botanical Garden saying, take a picture. I'm in the grass.
Leaf angel. We couldn't do a snow angel. So
and I'm looking at her like, where's your nurse? Because whoever your nurse is, they're not going to be looking at me very kindly soon. Next thing I know, she was in the garden taking Michael Jackson pictures with the sunlight. And I'm going, oh.
God, that was hot.
No, I'm just saying. And it was just pure craziness. So then afterwards, she did get a little hot and dehydrated.
Yes.
So she had to sit in the wheelchair, which I know she didn't want to do. But then guess who had to wheel her back in this wheelchair? I'm not going to mention their names. Nikki, and what's the other guy's name? Tony.
Yes. And Daddy Steve Burgess.
Yes. Well, yeah. So what happened was she had to go down that hill. You know where Gappy House is? It's like this steep hill. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what happened was we started to wheel her down the hill, and then a big truck came.
Oh, you forgot to mention that I was being wheeled backwards down the hill.
We couldn't wheel you forward, because if we wheeled you forward, you would fall out of the wheelchair.
Right, because you just let go of the wheelchair and I went flying across the street. Yeah.
No, you would. So nevertheless, what happens is we have her facing backwards, and apparently a big truck was coming.
Yes. And
down the hill.
No one was listening to me.
And then in front of us, though, was a car trying to turn up. So Giovanna freaked out and started gripping her hands. Get me out of here! But anyway, you gotta look at the pictures on Facebook, because you just can't imagine what it was like. And she's looking at us like, you lot are really trying to kill me.
Pretty much.
Really? Like,
I'm
here at the hospital for treatment, and you lot are trying to risk my life. And I said, oh wow. And then guess who should walk down the hill but her nurse?
She threw her hands up in the air like, what is going on? Like, oh my God, I was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
And apparently my name is done at the front of the hospital for somebody that can't come up to visit people.
That's actually right.
Because they also told us we couldn't take you out for a certain amount of time. And we went over the time.
I think a half an hour?
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stick to that. Yeah.
But what you showed, I mean, I really had a good time. I mean, we were snapping pictures, and I was hot and sweaty and running up and down, and you were laying in the grass, and I'm like, are you supposed to be laying in grass? You know, it was just, but still, and it was in that moment that I was like, you know what? Even myself as an individual, sometimes I don't live life to the fullest.
Right.
You know, and you kind of showed me like, hey, Patrina, have fun with some of these small things. You can still just enjoy yourself. Go outside and smell the roses.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about you.
Oh,
that's one of the things that made me really appreciate even more. Just because I went to see to visit.
You thought you'd be sitting there twiddling your thumbs like, I don't know what to say.
And I don't like hospitals. So you took me on an adventure.
Yep, that's what it was, for sure. For sure.
So, it's been amazing for me to watch your journey. And I know for others, like I spoke to someone that I'm actually dealing with similar stuff. And they were like, she is such an inspiration.
And I struggle with the word inspiration, because I was just determined not for this not to define me, to stop me from doing, what I like to do kind of thing. Like, of course I had to make adjustments, but at the end, I love cracking jokes. I like acting stupid. Like, I don't want that to stop me at the end of the day. So, and
it shouldn't stop you. So what message do you want to put out there to those that are dealing with it right now?
Well, for me, just being open, I have had people I wouldn't expect share their experience. And even from just taking the Freaky Friday pictures with my radiation team, one of the gentlemen on the team was going through his second bout of treatment. And he was like, I see how you're dealing. Like, he was like, send me the pictures, I'm always going to remember this. And he was treating me. And he was getting treatment himself.
Wow.
And you just don't know who's there to support you. If you don't have to tell a whole bunch of people. Like, that's not the point of this. But when you are open, you allow people to be there for you.
Yeah.
And if you just remember that this is going to pass, you have so much more to look forward to. But you have things to look forward to even during treatment and surgeries and chemo and everything else. You still have little things to enjoy.
Because the other thing is that you were able to have like family reunions and stuff.
Yes.
So this is the thing that got me.
I was in Boston, and I had two brothers, one drive from Toronto and one drive from Brooklyn to meet me. And they brought the girlfriends, the children. So, I'm meeting nieces and nephews I hadn't met before. I met my brother for the first time, and that's one of the things I'm grateful for. Is like, if I had kept all this to myself, I would have missed out on moments like that. There was another Bermudian family that was at the hospital, and there's a lot of Bermudians at Leahy that invited me to dinner, the Friday before they flew back, because it's just like, hey, let's have a nice evening together and relax and get our minds off this kind of thing, and like I said, I had people I wouldn't expect just say, hey, let's do something, and they just opened themselves up. And I wasn't expecting that, but I'm so grateful, and it's been amazing. Yeah,
it's been a journey.
It has been.
It's been a journey, and I'm really glad that you came to talk to us today. Is there anything else that you want to add?
The other reason I wanted to do this is that you heard a lot of people write books about like their experiences, but you rarely get to talk to people as they're experiencing it. And I have colon cancer, which is applicable to men and women. So for the gentlemen out there who don't want to get the finger test.
Oh, Lord, I'm telling you, the gentlemen out there don't like going in.
I'm about to be really real right now. Number one, no one has to know that you're going to get checked to your doctors. And take that half an hour, get checked, because that doesn't compare to the months that I was away in Boston, the 9 days that I have surgery or recovery from surgery that I was in the hospital, and it doesn't compare to the chemo that I still have to do after this. So that's you right. Take that half an hour, don't tell nobody, but just get it done.
That's right.
Just get it over with. It's once a year.
That's right.
If you're lucky.
That's right.
Just get it over with.
And I'm glad you put it out there to men too.
Yeah.
Because men are the most difficult people to get to the doctor's office. You know, us women, we cough funny. We're like, okay, something's not right.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe what you said. Can you check it again? And you got to put it out there.
Yeah, and I'm 37. I'm the youngest case that they have ever seen in Bermuda.
Wow.
But with that said, I would rather be doing this now than when I'm 60 and 70, because I was just surrounded by the elderly at the hospital, and that's not how I want to spend my retirement years.
That's right.
So I would rather be doing this now, get it over with, so I can enjoy this. Don't you come to me with a freaking needle, I will stab you. I'm telling you, I'll be like, I'm not doing it. Just I've been through it, leave me alone. But but that's the other thing. Yeah, I am young, and of course, it's not something you want to hear at this age, but at the same time, I'd rather do it now.
That's right.
Get it over with.
Well, Giovanna, you know, you are amazing, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
And I know a lot of my listeners are thankful that you came on to talk. And anytime that you want to come in and update us or anything, please feel free to do so.
Sure.
You know, and thank you for sharing your story. And I just want to make sure there's nothing else you want to say, because I want to make sure that you're getting your message out there. You know.
Thank you to all the supporters. No matter how you decided to show your support, it was great, and I'm very, very grateful. And just everyone enjoy life. Like, if I can still do it, you can still do it.
And you have an amazing network. And I want to shout out to all of your family, your friends, and your
Salsa
doctors.
community.
Let me tell you something. You have a big support system, and I'm glad that you were able to communicate your needs with them, and you've helped to educate them.
I hope so.
And this education is really important.
Yes. More people need to talk about it, and it is what it is, you know. So yeah.
Well, Gio, thank you so much for coming on, and also big shout out going out to JT of the Underground, who is now here videotaping this for us. And I had contacted JT, and he didn't hesitate to say yes. So JT, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, JT.
Thank you so much, man. Oh Lord, she's giving you some salsa jam. But nevertheless, guys, I got some bills to pay. But Giovanna, and you know what? I know this.